get lots of money and lots of love coming your way. Ladies, today is all about healing our masculine energy wounds in the area of money and relationships, and of course it's going to help your hormones as well.
Yeah, and you know, Tosh has been a single mom of 4 for the last 5 years, so being able to share this information is really going to help you ladies.
Because there's so much shame that can come to us ladies when we can't figure out why we are struggling in the areas of love, in marriage, in dating, or with money and in business. So this episode, it's going to be beneficial for all women, but especially the single mamas. And then we're going to do a part 2, but more in the area of if you're already in a relationship. So on this episode, we're going to go deep into signs that you have a wounded relationship with masculine energy, and it's showing up in the area of money, in your business, and in your dating or marriage life. And then we're going to go through why this happens and how to reverse it.
And they're generational, right?
Yes.
We see our parents, we look at our grandparents, we look back 2 or 3 generations, and a lot of our family members, our mothers, our aunts, cousins have dealt with these same challenges. Just being able to really notice it, but really come up with solutions and strategies on how to get through it and get past it is just really going to help everyone who's listening, right?
Yes, it helps the ladies and it helps the men.
For us, and I'm sorry,
no, go ahead,
it's
baby.
good for us to see, because we can be in relationships, we can just have friends that are women, and it can be patterns that we see that push us away and we not know why.
Right, exactly.
So just understanding from a male's perspective really helps us.
So what actually inspired this is I was coaching a high-end client, businesswoman, beautiful lady. That's a lot of our community are the beautiful, successful ladies that either are struggling in their hormones or in their relationships. They're tired of being so stressed out in their nervous system in the area of business. They want to go to that next level. So that's usually the ladies that I coach. But anyway, this one particular client, I was talking to her and helping her heal her masculine energy wound. And one area we got into is, she's like, Natasha, I don't actually know what it feels like to have masculine energy in my life, like healthy masculine energy in my life. So with that, I'm like, okay, let's get into it in this video. Let's step into some signs that you do have a wounded relationship in this area. And then we're going to go into why this happens and how to reverse it. I want you to not judge yourself. I also come from 4 generations of single parenthood. We are breaking cycles.
Yes.
No judgment. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge anybody else. Just observe and get ready to break these patterns off your life. Get lots of money and lots of love coming your way. So I'm going to focus on 3 signs and tell the ladies what the man's perspective.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. The man answers.
They love the man answers,
yes.
Right? Because men and women think so differently.
Yeah.
Just so you know, a lot of us women have very developed masculine energy. So that's different than a relationship with masculine energy. So you could be super successful, super smart, degrees, doctors. I got doctors, lawyers, business owners in my community. And you might have a very developed masculine energy. I do too. But that doesn't mean you have a healthy relationship with masculine energy. And that will show up in the area of how you make your money, how money comes to you, or you are always in chase mode, you're always in hustle mode, and the relationships that you have. So sign number 1 that you have a wounded relationship or a block in the area of healthy masculine energy is you don't actually feel safe with masculine energy. So this is with money and this is with men or just in life in general. So you don't deep down actually believe that healthy masculine energy, provider, protector energy is going to show up for you.
Yeah.
Masculine energy is that provider, protector energy. And when we don't feel safe, like we can depend on healthy masculine energy to provide and protect us, we lean into our masculine energy.
Yes.
So we have to become our own providers and our own protectors. And of course, it shows up in relationships and with money. So that is sign number 1, is you don't actually deep down feel safe in the presence of masculine energy, or you don't actually think that masculine energy is going to show up for you.
Adding to it, because you don't feel safe, right, you can never recognize it fully,
yes.
Right? The masculine energy, masculine provider can be right there in your face, but because it's masculine on masculine, it feels more like a fight, because as the feminine, you want to relax.
Right.
So because you're such in your masculine in that area. It doesn't mean every area, right?
Right, exactly.
You can be in your masculine making money, which can be a good thing, but then in relationships, you want to be able to pull back. But if you don't have practice with it or really understand it, it can look like even the masculine is overstepping his boundaries, because he's doing things for you that you're used to doing for yourself, and it's just not that trust there that he can get it done the way you can.
Yes, and we are going to talk about why this happens. This is something I work through with my clients all the time, where they don't even know how to recognize healthy masculine energy when it does show up. And this is something I actually had to reprogram in myself. So we'll give that example very, very soon. The second sign is you don't actually know how to receive. You know, very similar to that first point, where you are so used to doing things yourself, or you're so used to, in your nervous system, being the one that has to provide, has to show up, that you just assume you're always the one that has to do things. And because of that, when somebody wants to come in and help you with anything, you don't even know how to receive it. You're on guard. Your nervous system is on guard. So what happens with our nervous system? We do a lot of nervous system re-regulating in this area for women, in the area of relationships and in the area of money and business, and then also with our body and our health goals. But we go into either fight or flight mode. So if you don't feel safe, which is that point one, you don't think healthy masculine energy is actually going to show up for you, you don't actually know how to receive. Because what happens is your nervous system gets triggered, and it's going to go in either fight or flight mode. So fight mode looks like you're pushing back. So he's saying something to you, and right away your guard is up and you're fighting back. Like, what does that mean? Blah, 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 blah. You're like trying to prove yourself to him. You know, you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, you feel like you need to like prove yourself. And it's how you're coming across. You're super aggressive, and that triggers a lot of fights. So you're either going that way or you go into flight mode. And flight mode is you're hiding. And I literally just posted a video on this on social media, and so many women related to this. And I was like, this one thing is blocking your husband from finding you and more money from finding you. And what happens is we as women hide. We think we're showing up, but we're not. So you're wanting to date, but you don't want to go on a dating app because you're scared because of some of the stuff you've been through. Or you want to get married, but you don't really want to get married. Or you want to trust your husband as a provider, but you don't really trust him as a provider. You want to show up on social media, but you're not fully showing up on social media. So kind of showing up, but not really. Another way I see women hide is with weight. So you want to lose weight, but really you don't want to be seen if you're being really real with yourself. And so women will hold on to weight so they're not actually seen, because it does not feel safe to be seen. And before you start judging yourself and getting really mad at yourself and frustrated, stop. Okay, we're going to go through why this happens with so much love and compassion for yourself right now, and we're going to break these cycles. So that's point number 2.
And just to add to that, just to give an example of it, right? I can give an example of one of our situations where it can be something super small in our mind, right? Because we want to have a healthy balance. We don't just want to be fully in our masculine or fully in our feminine. We want to have a balance, right, in it. And even the example that I'm thinking of is the other day we were thinking about what we were eating for dinner.
I don't know this story.
And you wanted a sandwich from the restaurant, right? We already have food at home, but the masculine is such, we put ourselves last. When you've neglected yourself for as long as you have in certain areas, like
single mamas.
Single mom, you wanted something to eat out. But you felt guilty because if the kids don't eat out and they looking at you eat, you just won't feel right. And that's when I was like, well, they're still eating, right? It's not like we're depriving them from eating, but you haven't taken the time out for yourself as much that it felt so wrong to buy something that you wanted for yourself.
And just to put this into context, the reason why the kids didn't get this is because Brian, who's so amazing, you're reinforcing new structure that they did not have before. And I'm just being super honest. And this is coming from, quote unquote, successful businesswoman, single mom for so many years. at the end of the day, when you're a single mom, you cannot do everything yourself, right? And so one area that wasn't great in our life, and I'm just being super real and honest with you girls so you don't feel bad about yourself, is structure at home. Just constantly taking care of business. You're constantly trying to, just survive and feel good, even if you're making a ton of money.
Yeah.
And you have lots of responsibilities. So there was a lot of bad habits that the kids picked up. Like, I'm just being super real. And so when Brian came into the picture and his healthy masculine energy loves structure, which is amazing. I know they can have those sandwiches,
right?
But they need to learn how to eat home cooked food, more home cooked food. And I mean, we eat out so much. So trust me, they are not separate. It was just in this particular instance, he is trying to reinforce different structures and habits for them. And I totally appreciate you for that. So in that situation, I was really struggling with receiving, because I was craving one of those American juicy sandwiches in that moment. But, still follow the structure, the masculine structure that we've set up at home. Well, no, tonight we decided the kids are eating home cooked food, so that's what they're going to continue eating. That's where that came from. But that's a beautiful example.
Yeah, I love it.
We got more examples. But anyway, number 3 sign that you got some blocks in this area, and this, oh my gosh, this totally shows up with money and business and in relationships, is that fear of loss. So that fear that you're going to run out. So your fear you're going to run out of money, that fear you're going to run out of clients. And I see this all the time with women where they're dating or they want to date, but they have that fear deep down that the husband or the guy is going to cheat on them, is going to leave them. It's that abandonment wound.
Yeah.
That keeps showing up in your life. Fear of, I'm going to run out, or they're not going to fully show up for me, or they're going to be in my life, but they might go away. They might find something better. That is a sign, babe, that there's a wound and a block in that area. And what happens with us ladies when you struggle with that is you're going to come at things even harder. So you're going to chase money harder. You're going to chase clients harder. You're going to chase men harder. You're going to try to control men, or you're going to try to control the dating dynamics, the marriage dynamics. You're going to be checking things. You're going to have anxiety because you're so worried that it's going to go away.
It's back to the fight or flight, where the other option that you'll have is you'll miss opportunities because, okay, I don't want to run out of this, so I can't do this. Now, your bank account, your time may show you that you can, but you're so afraid to lose that it's like, if I can't do that because I don't want to look at my account and I'm down 5,000 from what I had. So it just stops you from pursuing things to your fullest because it's more of a protection mode that you get into because you're scared to lose whatever that is that means a lot to you.
Absolutely. And so these are so subtle. Once you start realizing, like, oh my gosh, I'm actually practicing that feeling right now. Your emotions are energy, your energy state. And whatever your dominant energy state is, you're going to get more of in your life. So just be really aware. Get curious. Don't need to judge yourself. Okay? We're not doing that. We're not judging other people. We're not judging ourselves. But just get really curious and catch yourself when you are falling into these energy patterns. One other thing I want to mention to help you recognize these patterns in your life might be showing up very subtly. As soon as money comes into your life, new clients or higher level client, or you're dating, if deep down you at your core subconsciously in your nervous system believe any of these things that we just talked about, we subconsciously push it away. So you might be thinking, why do I keep having relationship troubles? Or why do guys keep coming and then going? Or why can I make money and then it goes away? Self-sabotage is in your nervous system, babe. At a subconscious level, you don't actually feel safe with that thing in your life. It doesn't feel normal to you. So what we do is we start self-sabotaging by pushing it away. And that can come in the forms of your fighting, drama, or just energetically, those things just leave your life. Deep down, that's what you're expecting to happen. And it's so subconscious. And babes, this does not matter how much money you have. I have literally made $100,000 in one day. I've made over 7 figures multiple times. And because I did not come from money was never normal for me. The only thing that was normal for me in my nervous system was not having it or it's running out. And so guess what happened? It's like, even if you have money, you're manifesting bills, extreme issues are happening, and
Yes.
all these crazy things are, maybe stuff is breaking down, unexpected costs keep showing up, right? To like drain your account. And that was the pattern that I would notice. I'm just being like super honest and real with you. And there was so much shame that came from it, because I'm like, I don't understand why this is happening when I could attract the money easy. Then because my nervous system never really felt safe, it didn't feel normal to have a lot of money, to be able to hold it. Masculine energy is the structure that holds it. It would go away until I healed that. And even scripturally, this looks like this. So 2 Kings 4, it's one of my favorite stories and scriptures that will help you really paint the picture of this. And that's that widow woman. Debt collectors are literally banging on her doors, like about to take her kids, because her husband just died and she has debts to pay off, right? It's not even her fault, but that's the situation she's in. It was very relatable to my situation before Brian came into my life. And basically the miracle that manifested is, she had to get these jars for oil to come in so that she could hold, and then she was able to sell the oil for profit and pay off all her debts and then live off of the rest. So there was that overflow blessing, which is what God has called us to live like, right? But here's the masculine energy wound part of it that we don't realize. If you don't actually have that structure, that actual container to hold the blessing, to hold the money flow, to hold the healthy marriage, to hold just you feeling so confident and healthy in your body, whatever your desires are, if you don't have the actual structure to hold that, it's wounded, it's broken, you're not going to be able to receive what you've been asking for. There's two main reasons why this happens. We have two main wounds that show up as masculine energy wounds. The first wound is the daddy issues, right? The fatherhood, not feeling safe. Maybe you came from an abusive background. Maybe dad just didn't show up for you in the way that he could have. And we're not judging our dads right now. Okay, that's not going to help you at all. Even if you're totally justified, and I understand if you're abused, like, we're not justifying it at all. But let's just get curious and observe why this is happening. So maybe dad was present, right? But he struggled with being the provider, protector in your family. So growing up, you didn't actually see what normal, healthy, masculine energy as a provider, protector looks like. And then the second wound that we all have to heal is our relationship with God the Father as the divine masculine. So you're truly not going to be able to relax into your feminine energy. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care if you're in a relationship right now. You will your nervous system, your energy will never truly be able to surrender and relax until you know that there's a divine masculine energy source that is always going to show up for you, to provide for you and to protect you. And what happens is, when we don't heal this wound, we start projecting it onto other people. So what that looks like is, my husband is my source. So if he's not showing up in the way that I think he needs to show up in this moment, and whether it could be money related, it could be, protecting the family, it could be whatever it is, I'm going to be putting so much energy and pressure on him. Like, you are my source. And if he's doing great that day, I feel good and I feel safe. If he's not doing great that day, I'm angry and triggered. The other thing too is that you'll just completely block it, because you don't actually know what that feels like to have either a father or that relationship with God as your divine masculine energy source. And this is what I work through with my clients, because religion, like, I'm just being super real right now, is a lot of people come from backgrounds of all different religious faiths, by the way, that God is this judgmental God that may provide for you, may not provide for you, may protect you, may not protect you, or you've been taught to feel ashamed, right? So it's like, you're not going to come to God the Father as a masculine if you don't feel like he actually is a provider and protector.
I mean, it's just like you said, of what God is to us, or what masculine is to us. It's kind of like where we start. But even scripturally looking, it talks about not being able to perform miracles in his own town. Right? So that's even in the home front. It's hard for the masculine to do what they need to do, just because of the wounds that's there. It's really important to address those wounds at a foundational place, because it's good to be able to look at the men in your life and things like that, but internally those issues still exist, and it's just waiting on one thing to spark it up. If it's not dealt with on a root foundational level, just making sure that relationship is strong, is good structure in that relationship, it makes everything else easier, because the pressure is off people.
Exactly.
Right, the pressure is off
Yeah.
a person, even off yourself.
Yeah.
Right, once you get that, it's the pressure, the masculine, like it feels like a lot of pressure at times,
Right.
being in your masculine and outside of who you are.
Right.
So taking that pressure off by releasing and getting that relationship solid with God.
Men at the end of the day want to be in their healthy masculine energy. It's not like they're walking around wanting to be useless in life, right? Like their number one thing is they need to feel needed. It's part of their purpose. It's part of that masculine energy. They want to chase. It's how they're wired. At a DNA level,
Yes.
at a sperm level, they want to chase. They want to feel like they're going for a
Yes.
target. They feel good when you're happy
Yes.
and good, right? But if you're already expecting and assuming that they're going to fail,
Yes.
or that they're not going to show up for you, you are carrying it in your
Yes.
energy, babe. You are carrying it in your energy. It's subconscious, and it's coming from those wounds. And I promise you, babe, when you heal this, because I see it all the time, I've seen it myself, and I see it, the ladies that I coach in my programs, is when you heal this, you're going to start to look at everything different, because you're embodied in different energy. And what happens is men and money are going to start to reflect that back to you. They're going to start to come towards you versus running away from you, because you're in that wounded masculine energy mode. Let's get into how to repair this. This is something that we go way more into in dating our marriage courses and just in our divine feminine energy courses. But I'm just going to give you like a bit of a taste of exactly what you can start doing, and just get curious. The first thing is you got to repair your trust with the divine masculine, which you were just talking about, right? You're never going to be able to fully relax until you heal that wound with divine masculine energy, period. Not as a certain person or a client, but that energy, your relationship with that energy first. Forgiveness of, the daddy wounds, maybe your divorce, past relationships. If you're holding on to bitterness, not only is it going to age you and cause a lot of hormone issues for you, babe, and money issues for you, but it's going to block your husband and his healthy masculine energy. One of the greatest ways to unblock that is just that forgiveness and releasing the people in your life that have wounded you in that area, and really leaning into God as the divine masculine energy source in your life, as a father and as a husband. This is why even in scripture, true religion is actually ministering and helping the widows and the orphans. So yeah, it's good to help widows and orphans. I was a widow, right? But really what that means is, even emotionally, energetically, you are the widow, you are the orphan. Even if you are a person of faith and you've gotten baptized, like, okay, that's great, but moment to moment, how are you showing up? If you are showing up still wounded emotionally, that I can't trust things, people, men, even my husband, even business and money, you're going to still be in that wounded energy. You're going to be in that hustle mode. You're going to be in that grinding mode. You're going to be in that chasing mode, when really you just got to heal those wounds right there. It shows up as shame. That was the big thing for me, showing up as shame, like frustrated, like, why can't I get this? Why can't I relax? That's why. Number 2, this was a huge one for me, and I had to work on it myself first. You always have to do this first in yourself. Men can't fix this for you. Because I was able to really work on this in myself, it mirrored my relationship, and this is an area that Brian is very strong in. And that is, you need to have healthy masculine structure in your life. So you need to actually have masculine energy in your life. Even if you're in your feminine and stuff, you need to have masculine structure. So masculine structure looks like this: boundaries, systems, schedules, just following through on promises to yourself. You need to have some sort of structure. It's like that container to grab your blessing, the oil in business. In your relationships, having structure on your relationships, having boundaries in your relationship. When him and I first started dating, the structure was so I could feel safe right from the beginning. hey, I'm dating for marriage. He's like, okay. And I'm like, and we're not sleeping together until we are married. This is important for me. That was a boundary. I wasn't yelling at him like, oh, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. No, it was something I decided in myself. That was that masculine energy structure in myself, the boundary within myself that I had to hold on to allow me to feel safe so I could open myself up to date for marriage again. Not saying you need to use those examples, those
Right.
just examples. Other examples are in business, having systems and structures in business, outsourcing. I get into all this in my programs, but having a masculine structure in your life is so important for you to relax into your feminine, to be able to receive. Otherwise, when that area is wounded and cracked, you're not going to be able to hold the relationship. You're not going to be able to hold the money flow. It's just going to go away. And it's that masculine structure that's broken.
And what it does is when we don't allow that masculine structure to be the structure, to have the schedules, the masculine doesn't really feel needed, right? So it's like, this is what I'm coming to the table with naturally. So it's not even me trying to do it. Like before we got together, I had no kids, but because of the structure and how I'm wired, I'm automatically able to go straight into, this is some things that we need to implement for the kids.
Totally.
Right? So allowing that masculine to be who they are really gives them the freedom to be exactly what you need, because the masculine is willing to do anything because they want to be celebrated, right? They want acknowledgement, and that allows us to feel a certain way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You want healthy masculine energy to show up in your life. You got to have that in your own life first before he shows up. It wasn't until I made God my father, my husband, like truly my source, until everything changed. Up to that point, I also felt like I need someone to come save me. No, God is my father. God is my husband. He is my provider, protector, and it allowed me to relax, relax more and chill. Setting up those masculine structures in my home, in my business, also helped me to relax versus feeling like I need to do everything myself to prove something. And then that happened before he came in. And then, of course, once he comes in with his gifts and talents and his masculine energy, he's, taking it to a whole new level for us. Number 3, this is so huge, ladies. You have to practice normalizing what it feels like to be in the presence of healthy masculine energy internally first, in your nervous system. This is, I get into a lot of nervous system re-regulating in my programs, but what I noticed, some women believe that it's like once he shows up, then my nervous system will calm down. And then I'll be in my soft, feminine energy. He put me in my soft feminine energy. Well, that might be a little bit true in the sense that, he will help you, but you need to be that first. It's not like you can just stay in your combative or hiding masculine energy mode, triggered, not feeling safe, don't know how to receive, lack of worthiness, and then he's just going to show up and shift everything for you, right? He might help, but you got to put that work in for yourself first, babe. And when I say work, I mean that inner work, that inner healing, normalizing it in your actual nervous system so you know what it feels like. If you don't know what it feels like to be in the presence of a lot of money, whatever that means to you, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, if you don't know what it feels like to be in the presence of healthy masculine energy, you are going to push it away. You're going to self-sabotage it. So one thing that I get my girls to do in my programs is practice normalizing that healthy masculine energy in their life internally first, in their nervous system, pattern interrupt in their nervous system, so that when that healthy masculine energy does show up, you're not pushing it away. And there's always another layer you want to go to. So maybe you're used to making $10,000 a month, but you want to go to $100,000 a month, or you want to go to $1 million a month, or you're in a relationship, but you're ready to go to that next level in your relationship, whether you're dating or married. That is a new level that you got to internalize and normalize in your nervous system first. And once you have that there and you have that masculine structures there, that's when it comes in so easy, babe.
And ladies, as you're preparing for your husband, it's important to know, and we've mentioned it before, but as the masculine, we're looking for the feminine, right? We're not looking for a woman who's waiting to change, right? We're looking for a woman who's in her feminine. Now, of course, neither side is where they need to be or where they're going to eventually be.
Totally.
But we need to see that you're in your feminine before we even consider dating,
Dating for
approaching,
marriage.
dating for marriage.
Yeah.
Seriously. So it's important that, like you said, you're already working on your own self, because it'll be difficult for you to find for the masculine to find you if you're not in your feminine.
And we talk about this in our other videos, so you guys should go watch those other videos.
Yes.
But it's not just, you could be a 10 out of 10,
Yeah,
babe. Like your
that's
hair is
true.
on point. You got curves. You got
Yes.
a booty. You know, you got all, you know, whatever. You're successful. You're driving nice cars. You're a woman of God.
Yeah.
You're saving yourself. I see this all the time with women. Like they're gorgeous.
Yes.
Successful, all this stuff, and they can't understand why they're still single.
Yes.
Because, babe, your feminine energy is the unseen part of you. Just think of a woman's body. It's the unseen part of you.
Yep.
It's your energy that you are embodied
Yes.
in, babe. Okay? And that's a beautiful thing, because it doesn't matter what, I mean, it matters what you look like, but first of all, you're the right type of pretty for your husband, side note. Okay. But that's something you have control of. That is something that you can develop in you. You
Yes.
already have feminine energy. It's not something that you need to gain. It's already inside of you, just like you got feminine hormones. But like so many women, their hormone issues, it's out of balance. This is why so many women have hormone issues right now. Stubborn belly fat, fertility issue, horrible PMS, and perimenopause. Hormones are out of balance. You're not designed to be that way. Same with us and our energy. Our energy, we're designed to spend most of our time, not all of our time, because we need that masculine energy too. We need to spend more time in our activated feminine. And once we do it, babe, one, you feel so much better. Like your mood improves, your hormones improve. And then because you're feeling so good, you naturally start attracting more money. You feel safe to be seen. So your social media grows. You know, you start attracting higher level clients. You start attracting higher quality men who want to provide and protect you, because they don't have to fight with you because you're not in your wounded masculine energy.
So true.
I could keep going, but I'm not going to. You just got to go into my programs where I rant on this stuff. Next, practice receiving. So this is so subconscious, and I've seen women do this, and they're so unaware that they're doing this, and I've done this too. So I want to point this out, okay? And love, I love you so much. So like little things, you're walking up to a door. Are you the one to run and grab the door?
Yes.
Or do you, even if there's your man is not with you or you're not dating, are you the first one to always grab the door, or do you kind of pause and allow someone else to open the door for you? And this reminds me of, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah. Situation with us, right?
Yes.
We have plenty of examples, but the one situation, we're walking to the car, the kids were with us, so I unlocked the doors, right, because you guys were ahead of me.
Yeah.
And just by nature of habit, you reached to open it.
Yeah.
So as soon as the kids got in, I locked the door, relocked it, and came up behind you and said, "No, I got it. Don't worry about this." But out of habit, and some areas that you're still improving in, right? You're still developing in. You just grab the door.
Yeah.
And I asked you to move out the way. I grabbed it, let you in, closed it, and then you just kind of took a breath, and you were like, "Yes, thank you."
I was laughing so hard because, I mean, I literally coach this stuff, right? But, I mean, there's always another level that you're going to, and there's still subconscious habits that we have.
Yes.
But this also shows you, ladies, that you don't have to be perfect in your perfect feminine energy to attract your husband, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm still a work in progress. Anyway, but I remember I went to grab it. Like, I was actually trying to open the door, and he locked it. And so I was trying to open the door, and it wouldn't open. And then I was just laughing because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're not conscious of it, right? But the reason why this is so important, ladies, you need to practice this energy ahead of time. So a couple things I would do is, like, with my kids, this is before we met, when I was really trying to practice receiving. When we got groceries, I'd get my boys to carry it. It's good for them, and it was good for me.
Yeah.
I actually did start training my boys to open the door for me. And even if I was by myself, if there's people walking, and we're kind of walking at the same time, I would slow down and I would stand there. I have never opened a door for myself in the presence of somebody else. And it's not this like entitlement attitude. It was more of like self-awareness of this is something I've needed to train in myself, because I naturally am very much an overgiver. And so I know a lot of ladies are watching this, and I know, like, just be aware. Other things too, like opening jars, carrying things, paying for things.
Yes.
Women are like, how do I get him to pay for the bill? Well, don't even carry the energy that you're carrying the bill. Like, just sit there. Like, assume that he's going to pay the bill for you, right? You don't have to say anything. It's in your energy.
Yes.
And you have a smile on your face, and
Yes.
you're loving life. When you show up with that energy of other people are going to show up for you, and you know how to receive,
Yes.
that's what shows up in your life.
Yes. And just one more small point. It's not that you aren't capable of doing it.
Thank you for saying
Right?
that.
Because
Thank you for saying that.
you can open the door on your own. You know, you can do a lot of stuff on your own. Like you've had 4 kids, you've been married, so you've been living life.
Yeah.
But it's, what do you want? And what you want, you have to position yourself, and you have to embody what you want, and people around you notice, and people around you fall in line, right? Or they're not around you.
I love that you're saying this right now. There's so much more we want to get into. We're going to do a part 2 for the ladies that are in a relationship, but let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you're struggling with in the comments below. Thank you for liking and subscribing.
Yes.
Allows us to put more content out and help reach more people, especially the single mamas.
Yes.
Okay. And also, but you actually want to heal your relationship with the masculine energy wound in the area of money and business, and in the area with dating or in marriage, then check out our programs below. And I go deep into all of these things because it affects your hormones and weight loss. It affects how you feel, how you look. It affects your relationships, and it definitely affects how you're making your money. So you might be making a lot of money, but are you always in that state of fear that it's going to run out? Or you want to start attracting higher level clients. You want to live life differently. Like, we're literally on our family moon right now, living our best life. Money is coming in 24/7, right? From multiple sources. And I'm saying that not to brag. I'm saying that in a sense of healing that energy, that masculine wound energy is what's going to make space and increase your capacity to receive in a new way on a different level.
Ladies, I'm in that community. We have an Ask a Man section where you can ask any questions, and I'll answer those questions for you and help bring some clarity in those areas for you from a man's perspective.
A healthy masculine energy perspective. Every Saturday we also do coaching calls together, but there's literally hours of audio activations, nervous system re-regulating audios in there to help you reprogram your nervous system and your feminine energy so you can receive at a totally higher level. And we love you so much.